Okay, now we'll cover those holes in the base of the skull. So we have 4 of them, okay? Now here's how we're gonna do this. Let me zoom in a little bit, like this, okay, so we can get a view here. All right. Notice this opening right here is an oval shape, okay, that's oval. This up here, this one is round, right? And then we have a small one right here. So we have these 3 holes in a row. We have this one, 1, 2, 3. That is your foramen rotundum. Think of the rotundum like the Capitol building has a rotundum, it's round. Ovale for the oval shape. And we have the smaller spinosum right here, spinosum. So foramen rotundum, ovale, spinosum. That's going to spell out Ross or R-O-S. Okay, so that may be a way you can remember it. So that's your foramen rotundum, ovale, and spinosum. And we're going to look at later some cranial nerves or branches of cranial nerve 5 that go through these openings. Okay, so, or your trigeminal nerve. All right, so let's take a look. We have R-O-S. Now, the next opening is this one right here, here, and here. Okay, so remember, like on this side, there is our R-O-S, that's Ross. And then medial to that, or towards the midline, we have this lacerated looking, kind of cut up looking opening called foramen lacerum. Foramen lacerum. Now, here's how I remember it. If this is the Turkish saddle or sphenoid, on the sphenoid bone, the sella turcica, imagine if you were to sit in this saddle, your legs would go through these holes, correct? Okay, correct? So if you were to sit in the saddle, your legs would go through these openings. So as a cowboy has a lasso, we have lacerum here. Okay, so we have, again, foramen rotundum, foramen ovale, foramen spinosum, foramen lacerum. Okay, right there. And that takes care of the sphenoid bone. Next is the ethmoid bone. So again, we're looking at the skull from the superior view. And what we notice is this structure right in the center. So the ethmoid bone is here on the anterior surface. And there, this little piece sticking up right there, that is called the crista galli. The crista galli. If we look on the sides of the crista galli, we have a thin plate of bone on each side of the crista galli with little holes and little perforations. That is called the cribriform plate. So the cribriform plate, very thin piece of bone, and the holes that are in the cribriform plate, if you can see them, there are many little holes. That's the olfactory foramina. Foramina means small window. So foramen is an opening, and then foramina means small opening or small windows. So here we have the olfactory foramina. So what we see, the nerves for smell, the olfactory nerve has branches that go through the olfactory foramina into the nose for smell. So crista galli, cribriform plate, olfactory foramina in the cribriform plate. If we look at the skull this way, on the anterior surface, we're going to notice in the nasal cavity, high up, we have a scrolly piece of bone. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's way up on top here. It's going to be way up here. Not this. It's going to be on the lateral walls here. I think of concha as a conch shell that's kind of scrolled up. We have a superior nasal concha or superior concha, and then we have one in the middle called the middle nasal concha. And again, I don't know how well you can see that. In lab, you'll be able to see them a little better on the models. This is actually your inferior nasal concha here. So you have a superior, middle, and inferior nasal concha. Those are covered in mucous membranes. Those will also help warm and humidify air, create some turbulence before you breathe. The air goes down into the lungs. So if we have a cribriform plate here, which is also an anatomy called the horizontal plate because it runs in the horizontal plate,